What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and I'm going to be doing an Igknight deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because this deck was actually suggested to me by one of my patrons, Zach. And this deck is an extremely powerful 60 card list of Igknights that makes great use of all sorts of awesome fire warrior monsters. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name scripture in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. And definitely give Zach some love down in the comments down below for suggesting such an awesome deck. So let's get straight on into this one, guys. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Templar. Templar is definitely a 3 of in the build, and all of your normal monster Igknight monsters actually share a common pendulum effect. That if you have an Igknight card in your other pendulum zone, you can destroy both this card in your pendulum zone and that other card, and if you do, add 1 fire warrior type monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is a really awesome ability to give you access to so many different cards in this deck to instantly get the exact fire warrior monster that you need, because I have some extremely spicy ones in this deck. We then play 3 copies of Paladin, 3 copies of Cavalier, 3 copies of Margrave, 3 copies of Gallatin, and 3 copies of Veteran. These are the best ones to be able to play in the deck for your Igknight monsters, to be able to instantly go in for any play that you need, which is why I play all of these cards at 3 in the build, because they give you the most access to be able to get to instantly the exact fire warrior monster that you need. And any 2 of these cards are full combo, which is absolutely broken. These cards are definitely 3 ofs in the build, as they're basically the exact same cards with just different levels and different scales, which is super cool because you can instantly get the exact monster you want onto your side of the field, and none of them are once per turn. So that's it for the Igknight monsters that are normal monsters. Let's get into the rest of the monsters in the deck. So for the other monsters, we're going to start off with 3 copies of Ignis Phoenix. Phoenix is definitely a 3 of in the build, and this card helps out a lot in the build because this card is also treated as an Igknight card. This card has the ability, if this card is on the field and is destroyed battled by card effect, you can special summon a Draco Slayer or Igknight monster from your deck to your side of the field. And if you do, it's treated as a tuner. And one of the best targets we can actually summon is our copy of Majesty Pegasus. Majesty Pegasus is really cool to summon out to your side of the field, as this card actually searches field spells from our deck to our hand. Then we do get to discard a card if this card is pendulum summoned or special summoned by the effect of a Draco Slayer card, which our copy of Phoenix is, and we'll summon it out to our side of the field, letting us search a really spicy field spell that we'll get into later. We then play 3 copies of Battle and Boxer Uppercutter. Uppercutter is really cool as a 3 of in the build because this card is a crazy powerful effect that if this card is normal or special summon, you get to add a Battle and Boxer monster or a counter trap from your deck to your hand, which we're always searching a Battle and Boxer monster in this build. Which the card we always search off this card's effect is our 1 of 2 copies of Spar. Spar is an amazing 2 of in the build to be able to search in the deck because this card has the ability, if you control a Battle and Boxer monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, just making it a really good extender. So by summoning out your copy of Uppercutter, it's going to instantly get you into basically a rank 4 play. We then play a single copy of Fur Noble Knight Renald. Renald is really cool just as a 1 of in the build because this card has a really cool ability. If you control a fire warrior monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is summoned this way, it's treated as a tuner. And if this card is special summoned, you can actually target a fire warrior monster or an equipped spell in the graveyard or that's banished, and then add it to your hand, except another copy of Renald, which is a really cool effect. We then play a single copy of Magus. Magus is really good just as a 1 of in the deck to be able to recycle our resources, which is why I play this card in the deck as a 1 of. We then play for our Spriggans cards. We're going to be playing a single copy of Rocky. Rocky is great in the deck as a 1 of because this card is super good to be able to work with our copy of Sargus in the extract and Merrymaker, because this card has the ability, if this card is normal or special summon, you can actually target one of your Great Sansi Golgogana or a Spriggans monster in your graveyard and then add it back to your hand, which is a pretty cool effect. We then play a single copy of Pador. Pador also is really good as a 1-up for Tally Ho, because we want to be able to use our copy of Spriggan's Tally Ho to be able to bring out 3 monsters out to our side of the field, being Pador, Merrymaker, and our copy of Rocky, which is amazing to be able to do. You're really not using these cards' abilities, you're just basically using them to special summon out to your side of the field off the effect of Tally Ho. We then play a single copy of Terverion Bull. Bull is really cool in the deck because this card is actually a fire warrior monster and super easy to summon to your side of the field, because this card is able, you can target a Terverion monster or a warrior monster in the graveyard and special summon this card from the hand, and if you do, equip that monster to this card. And this card also has a really cool ability that you can target a Terverion card you control and one card your opponent controls and destroy them, which is a really cool effect. We then play a single copy of Regulus. Regulus is searchable in the deck, which is why I play this card as a 1-up in the build, because it is a walking negate that we can use with our Terverion monsters or the machine monsters we're playing in the extract to be able to basically target those monsters that are in the graveyard to be able to summon out this card as a walking negate. We then play a single copy of Immortal Phoenix Gearfried. Immortal Phoenix Gearfried is a great walking negate in the deck that has the ability you can banish an equipped spell from the field to the grave to be able to special summon this card from your hand. This card also has the ability when a monster effect is activated, quick effect, you can send a face-up equipped card you control to the graveyard to negate the activation to destroy that card, which is an amazing ability. We then play a single copy of Dolgoran. Dolgoran helps out a lot in the deck as a small world bridge, and it's just a really cool card overall to have a kaiju on command in this deck to be able to out towers like boss monsters. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is definitely a 3-up in the build, just to basically stop the opponent from touching the deck, but also to use this card as a small world bridge because it's a fire monster. We then play 3 copies of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler helps out a lot in the deck overall to basically stop our opponent's monster effects. We then also play a single copy of Karakuri. Karakuri helps out as a 1-up in the build, just to use this card basically as a small world bridge, or to be able to use this card as a hand trap to be able to stop the opponent. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Rhoda. Rhoda gets us to the exact card that we need in this deck, which is absolutely amazing, as we play so many different Fire Warriors that we want to search with this card. We then play a single copy of Tally Ho Spriggans. This card is really good in the deck as a 1-up, because this card has the ability, when you activate this card, you can also detach up to 3 materials from monsters that you control, which you're always going to do. Add a Spriggans monster from your deck to your hand. Then, if you detach any materials to activate this card, you can special summon that many Spriggans monsters from your hand or graveyard, which you're always detaching 3 materials from your cards on your side of the field to be able to summon out 3 Spriggans monsters out to your side of the field, so you can make some insane plays to help you go in for King Dempsey, so that you can search out more of your Fire Warrior monsters. And this card is just really good in the deck as I wanted to be able to play the Spriggans engine in the deck to be able to keep going in for more plays. We then play a single copy of Almace. Almace helps out a lot in the build, just as another card to be able to play in the deck that's an equip spell. As when this card is equipped to a monster, you can actually equip one Infernal Arms equip spell from your deck or graveyard, extend another copy of Almace to one appropriate monster that you control, then destroy this card, helping you get to your copy of Durandal, which is just really insane. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, because it was equipped to a monster and it was sent to the graveyard, you can actually target a Fire Warrior monster that's banished or in your graveyard and add it to your hand, helping you not only get to a copy of Durandal, but also recover one of your Fire Warrior monsters. We then play 2 copies of Durandal. Durandal is basically like another copy of Rhoda for the deck, because this card has the ability, while this card is equipped to a monster, you can add a level 5 or lower Fire Warrior monster from your deck to the hand, then destroy this card, which is a really cool effect to instantly get to the exact Fire Warrior monster that we need. We then play 2 copies of Noble Arms Museum. This is a card we search off our copy of Pegasus, and it's an awesome field spell to be able to search from our deck to our hand, because all Fire Warrior monsters that you control gain 500 attack points. Also, once per turn, you can pay 1200 life points to add a Noble Arms card from your deck to your hand, which will actually search out your copy of Durandal directly from your deck to your hand, so that you can search out the exact card that you need. This card is really cool as a 2-up in the deck, and helps out so much in this build to be able to use. We then play 2 copies of Painful Decision. Painful Decision helps out a lot in this deck to help us use our copies of our Igknight monsters, because this card lets us send a level 4 lower normal monster from our deck to the graveyard, and if you do, add 1 monster with the same name from your deck to your hand, basically being more copies of Rhoda in the deck to be able to get to the exact Igknight scale that we need. We then play 3 copies of Summoner Art. Summoner Art is really cool to search out our normal monster Igknights, which is really cool to instantly get them from our deck to our hand. We then play 3 copies of Small World. Small World has so many different bridges in the deck to be able to use, to be able to get to the exact card that we need. Usually our copy of Uppercutter or one of our Igknight monsters, which is just really cool to instantly get to the exact card that we need. And this card is helpful in the deck by so many searches and just has so many different bridges by using Dolgaran as one of the cards that you reveal in the deck. We then play 3 copies of Triple Tactics Talents. Triple Tactics Talents is just really good to help us dig into the deck, because this card has the ability to let us draw 2 cards, take control of an opponent's monster, or look at our opponent's hand, choose a card from it, and shuffle it in the deck, which helps out a lot to help us basically draw 2 cards so we can keep playing. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get in to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start with our single copy of Emperor Charles. Emperor Charles is a really cool boss monster that we can easily summon in this deck because it's actually generic. And this card is usually an equip card, becomes equipped to a monster on the field. Even during the damage step, you can destroy a card on the field, which is a pretty cool ability just to pop a card on the field. Also, during the end phase, you can actually equip one equipped spell from your hand or graveyard to this card. Then you can equip a Fire Warrior monster from your deck to this card as an equipped spell that gives it 500 attack points. But the reason we're actually playing this card is so we can actually step into our copy of Emperor Charles the Great, which is such a powerful boss monster. We then play a single copy of Renaud. Renaud is just a really good combo piece in the deck to be able to make, and just such a powerful card to help us step into our copy of Emperor Charles. We then play a single copy of Angelica. Angelica is also a really cool combo piece in the deck. This card is special summon. You can actually add a copy of a card that mentions your copy of Emperor Charles from your deck to your hand, which is a really cool effect to instantly add a card from your deck to your hand, all of this card's ability. And this card is just a really cool combo piece in the deck. We then play a single copy of King Dempsey. King Dempsey helps out a lot in the build because if this card is special summoned, you can actually take a level 4 lower Fire Warrior monster or a Battle Box or Spell or Trap from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard, which is just a really cool effect to instantly get a copy of, say, Spar or Uppercutter from our deck to our hand, all of this card's effect. We then play a single copy of Merrymaker. Merrymaker is really easy to make because all you have to do is put 2 level 4s on your side of the field and make this card, and then make your copy of Gigantic Champion Sargus. Sargus is really cool because this card is really once per turn. You can also XZ summon this card using a Spriggan's XZ monster, meaning you can make this card on top of your copy of Merrymaker, which is how we always make this card. And this card also has the ability, while this card is XZ material, you can add a Spriggan's or Therion card from your deck to your hand, which is usually going to be your copy of Tally Ho that you're searching off this card's ability. And it's just really good to be able to use in the deck because it helps you use your Spriggan's package. We can play a single copy of Utopic Future and a single copy of Utopic Draco Future, which is really cool to be able to play in the deck and just helps out overall in the build because you basically make this card with your copy of Merrymaker that you brought back with Tally Ho and your copy of King Dempsey, which is super easy to do to give you a walking gate on your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Zeus because we can make it extremely easily in this build with our copies of our XZs, and it's just really cool to board wipe the field. One copy of the Swarm Ship because it works really well with our Bestower of Flames. One copy of Bestower of Flames because we're basically playing all fire in the deck, so this card is really cool because it can actually bring a fire monster back in the graveyard. And if a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field while this card's in the graveyard, you can actually target a fire monster you control and a monster your opponent controls and destroy them, and if you do special summon this card, which is a really cool ability. We then play a single copy of Beyond the Pendulum. Beyond the Pendulum works with all of our Pendulum cards, and it's just really cool to search out the exact card that we need from our deck to our hand. One copy of Link Spider. Link Spider helps out a lot for our Igknight cards and just helps us get an additional monster out on our side of the field. And then we play 2 copies of Emperor Charles the Great. Emperor Charles the Great is amazing because you have to use your copy of your Infernoble Knight to be able to step into this card because it does specifically require your copy of Emperor Charles to be able to step into this card while it's equipped with an equip card. And if this this card is link summon, you can actually target an Infernal Knight Emperor Charles in your graveyard, and this card's name becomes that target's name, and also it gains that target's effect. Then equip this card, or equip that card target to this card is an equip spell that gives this card 500 attack points, and once per turn, when a spell or trap card effect is activated, quick effect, you can send a equip spell from your hand or face from field to the graveyard to negate the activation if you do destroy that card, which is a really cool effect. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a 60 card in Igknight deck profile, you should definitely give this deck a try, because it's really insane to be able to play all the Fire Warrior toolbox cards in this deck to basically make an insane build. It's super fun. It's insane. Like, look at the size of that deck. It's insane. So that's gonna do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.